Welcome, flute players. This is our next review video for over Thanksgiving break. We're going to do 3 things in this review video today. Feel free to play along with each of these 3 items as you see fit. If you only feel comfortable working on some of the songs on page 6, then you'll just stick with number 1 for the time being. If you're ready to move on to page 7, then you can do item number 2 with me. And if you're ready for page 8, then I'm going to go ahead and that'll be our 3rd task for today. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to practice number 11, 3Z Does It, and we're going to review how to place our fingers down for our first 3 notes. As you can see on my screen, I've got number 11 here. If you feel comfortable switching between your first 3 notes on flute, and if you feel confident playing 3Z Does It, then you can skip ahead to number 2, where I play on page 7. I'm going to go ahead and label my notes in 3Z Does It. If you want to use a pencil and write in these note names in your own book as well, that's a great tip for helping you start to memorize these letter names. Our first note is on the second line from the top. Do you remember which letter name that is? That's our note D. So I'm going to label it here. Our second note of 3Z Does It is on the 3rd space. 1, 2, 3. It's on that 3rd space. Do you remember what that note is? That one is C. Our 3rd note is on the 3rd line. 1, 2, 3. And we see our special flat sign next to it. That indicates that this is our note B flat. I'm going to go ahead and label the rest of the notes in this song as well. Now that I've labeled my notes, let's review how to play each of these notes on your instrument. Go ahead and get your instrument set up and make sure that each of your flute pieces are aligned with your head joint, the body of the instrument, and the foot joint. If you can't remember how to align the pieces of your flute, go back and watch review video 1, where I talk through how to put the pieces together. In order to finger D, we need to press all 3 home keys in our right hand farther away from your face, 1, 2, 3, and just your second 2 home keys in your left hand. You can let your first finger come off the key or just gently rest it on top of the key so it's not pressing it down. Don't forget, we have to press our thumb key as well. If you're having trouble finding these fingerings, you can also go back to review video number 1, where I review each fingering for each note, and I get close up in the camera to show you exactly which keys to press. 3Z Does It starts on the note D. Let's test our note D and make sure our flutes sound the same. Here's what my D note sounds like. Does your D note sound the same? Go ahead and try your D music note. It should sound like this. If your note sounds different, double check your D note fingering on page 5. In this song, make sure that every time you finger a note, you're hearing a nice, clear, distinct sound. If you're not pressing the correct finger numbers or home keys, then your notes will all sound the same. Make sure that when you switch from D to C and C to B, you hear a distinct change in sound. Here's D. Here's C. Did you hear how that sound got lower for C? Listen again. Here's D, our higher note, and here's C. Each note should sound different. Our 3rd note B flat should sound the lowest of the 3. Just like our note B flat is lowest on these lines called the staff, our C note's in the middle and our D note is the highest, that's also how it should sound when we play it with our mouth. I'm going to use our metronome to play song number 11. The metronome will click and keep time. When we play the flute, tap your foot to the beat of the metronome so you know exactly how many beats to hold each note. Remember, we're playing whole notes for song number 11, 3Z Does It. That means we need to hold each note for 4 beats. If I'm tapping my foot, that means I hold each note for 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Let's get our metronome. Let's get my metronome ready. Oh no, it doesn't want to turn on for me. I wonder if my batteries had died. All right, let's pause this. All right, I've got some fresh batteries in my metronome, and it'll click like this. That's how you tap your foot. Tap, 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 and you hold each note for 4 taps. That means we got to be quick to change our fingers. If I'm playing D for 4 taps, switch, switch. I have to be quick to switch between notes. In order to get faster at switching notes, practice keeping the flute up at your face when you switch between note to note. If you have to pull the flute away from your face to look down at your instrument to change notes and then put your flute back up, that's going to take too long. We need to practice switching between notes by feel of your fingers without glancing down at your hands. Here's number 11, 3Z Does It. You can just listen, or you can go ahead and play along with me. I'm going to start the metronome, which means we're starting to tap our foot. Form your fingers for D. Put the flute up to your face. Try and switch notes by feel. All right. 1, 2, ready, go. And that's it. I'm going to go ahead and play it again. Remember, you take a breath in between each note, and while you're breathing, switch your fingers to the next note. So always be looking ahead to what note is coming next, so you know what to switch your fingers to while you take a breath. Let's try that again. 3Z Does It, number 11. 1, 2, ready, breathe. And you're done. That's your white belt song. If you think you could keep up with me playing along just then, go ahead and record yourself and send me that recording to earn your white belt in our instrument karate program. I'm going to move on to item number 2 for today, and that's looking at page 7, half notes. If you're having trouble playing number 11, 3Z Does It, you might want to practice those 3 songs at the bottom of page 6, number 9, 10, and 11. But if you can play those songs by tapping your foot, by keeping your flute at your face, and by quickly changing notes, then you're ready to move on to song number 7. Or page number 7. Page 7 introduces songs with half notes. A half note is a circle with a stem, and it's worth 2 beats. So as we're tapping our foot when we play, you only hold each note for 2 taps or 2 beats. In song number 12, Half the Time, we have groups of 3 half notes. Here's a group of 3. Here's a group of 3. And here's a group of 3. Then we end our song on B flat. That means we hold each of these notes for 2 beats and we play 3 notes in a row. Every time you see this little box sitting on top of the middle line, that means you rest for just 2 beats. So while you're resting for 2 beats, move your fingers to the next note and take a breath, because that rest is going to go by very fast. I'm going to label a couple of our notes here. We have 3 B flats in a row, 3 C's in a row, 3 D's in a row, and then we end on B flat. Do you notice these 2 little dots at the end of our song? That's called a repeat sign. Every time we see our repeat sign, we have to go all the way back to the beginning to play the song a second time. Let's go ahead and try song number 12. If you need to take a moment to review your fingerings, go ahead and do that now. Otherwise, here's song number 12, and we're going to play it through 2 times. Why are we playing it through 2 times? Because we have a repeat sign at the end of the song. Here's number 12, Half the Time. Get ready to tap your foot, because we're only holding each note for 2 beats, and then we rest for just 2 beats. It's going to feel like it goes by really fast, so get ready. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. We're going to take the repeat, so go back to the beginning. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. And that's it. Let's look at the next one. Song number 13 is called Mix It Up. Again, you'll see that our notes are in little groups of 3 at a time. Try challenging yourself and play each group of 3, or in this case, we've got a group of 4. Try playing each group with a single breath. That means instead of breathing in between each note like this, try blowing the entire time without stopping and only switch your fingers to change notes. That would sound like this. Then you breathe. If that's too challenging, then you can take more breaths. But I'm going to challenge you over Thanksgiving break to try playing each group of 3 or 4 with 1 big balloon breath. You may need to write in some finger letter or some letter names for these notes before we start number 13. And we also have a repeat sign, so we're going to play this song 2 times. Get that foot tapping, because here comes number 13, Mix It Up. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. repeat the song. Here it comes a second time. Catch your breath, because here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. Excellent work, you guys. Keep practicing those songs because that takes a lot of air. Let's look at number 14. Duet Do It. This is our yellow belt song for level 2. When you're ready to record this song for your yellow belt, you get to pick to play either the A line or the B line. Notice, we have a repeat sign at the end. So when you make your recording, you need to play through this song 2 times. Check it out. The notes in this song are also in groups of 3. Let's challenge ourselves with this one and try and play each group with 1 breath. I'm going to play line A just 1 time so that you can play along with me. I'll let you play it the second time on your own. If you need to, take a moment and practice some fingerings for these notes in line A. Here we go. Get your foot ready to tap. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. At this point, go ahead and play it a second time by yourself. I almost missed a note in the middle there. You kind of heard my fingerings flutter because I started looking at the second line. This time, I'm going to play part B. Part B is also in groups of 3 notes at a time. Do your best to play each group with just 1 breath by changing just your fingers to switch between notes. Another way to help you switch between notes and create a clear sound is to say the syllable to when you start each note. That will help the start of each note be very precise so you know exactly when you're changing. Let's play line B together. Here comes the metronome. Get your foot ready to tap. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. Nice job. Don't forget, there's a repeat sign, so you've got to play that line again. When you're ready to play the song all the way through, go ahead and pick a line and record yourself playing it 2 times to send it to me for your next belt song. That was part 2 of this video. For part 3, I'm going to play the first few songs on page 8. Only go on to part 3 with me if you're ready and you've already recorded your belt song for number 14. If you haven't gotten your white or yellow belt yet, then keep practicing those songs on page 7. But if you've already earned your white belt and your yellow belt, then you're ready to start page 8 with me. Let's go.